What's good, everyone? It's your boy Punz, and we're back with another video. Today I'm going to show you how to make street pain beats for Nba Youngboy and Quando Rondo. Without further ado, let's get into FL Studio and get right to it. Yeah, I'm really feeling this one. Definitely a melodic pain vibe that goes perfectly for Nba Youngboy and Quando Rondo. Now I'm going to break down how I made the loop and show you how I did the drums as well. Yeah, so the first sound I used in this beat is a piano. I used the Grandora, which is a contact bank, and I used the default preset. This is what the chord progression looks like. Yeah, so as you can see, I used a basic triad pattern, and I used a 1, 6, 7, 6 chord progression, and I copied the bass notes over just to give it more depth. And what you want to do for these street pain beats is you want to leave spaces, little gaps in between the chords. So I left one over here just to add some bounce to the beat. Now let's go over effects. For effects, I used a Valhalla vintage verb. These are my settings. I used a Fruity Delay 3, default settings, and I turned the mix level to 6%, and then I EQ'd out some low end. The next thing I did is I added this piano top line, and I used the same Grandeur preset, just the default one. This is what it sounds like. Yeah, so for a lot of my melodies, I'll basically come up with something on the keys, and I'll either record it or I'll draw it out. For this specific one, I did draw it out. And when you're drawing out your piano melodies, you want to leave these little flams. So it's basically an overlapping note just to make it sound more realistic. As you can see, I have a few playing throughout, which gives it that realistic piano sound. Now let's go over effects. For effects, I have a Valhalla vintage verb. These are my settings. I have a Fruity Delay 2 with the time stretched to 2 and the feedback on ping pong. The mix level is turned to 6%, and then I EQ'd out some low end. The next sound I added is a Rhodes, and I added the LA Custom Stereo Phaser from Keyscape. I basically layered the piano top line just to layer it and make it sound more full. This is what it sounds like. Yeah, so if I didn't mention, also for these street pain beats, what you want to do for these top lines is you want to kind of find melodies that complement the chord progression. You kind of have an idea of what it should sound like if you listen to Nba Youngboy and Quando Rondo's songs together. It kind of just flows well with the chord progression, so try to find little pockets that you could fill and make it sound good as well. For effects on this Rhodes, I have this Valhalla vintage verb. I EQ'd out some low end, and I added a Fruity Delay 3 with default settings, and I turned the mix level to 6%. The next thing I did is I added this organ. I just wanted to complement the chord progression and also fill up some space, so I laid out a few notes. This is what it sounds like. Yeah, so it's kind of the call and response technique in the third and in the seventh bars. And what this does is it just fills up the melody and makes it sound more full. The organ I used is the smoked Hammond Bright Rig from Omnisphere, and my effects on this organ are a Valhalla Vintage Verb. These are my settings. I have a Fruity Delay 3 with default settings, and the mix level turned to 6%, and I EQ'd out some high end and some low end. The next thing I did was I added some layers to the beat by adding guitar phrases and also adding a drum fill as well as some wah guitars and one trumpet sound. This is what they sound like together. Yeah, so you can find these sounds in the Slime Blueprint by Bridged and Parker Hill. This is the new kit that they dropped, and it's dope for these type of NBA Youngboy beats. And what you want to do for these wah sounds and for these hits, they call them hits. They're basically like trumpet or trombone. I'm not sure exactly what instrument, but what you want to do is you want to find pockets in the beat. Think about where you're gonna place your drums, or maybe put them in after you place your drums, just so you could hear what sounds good and have it flow nice with the melody as well. Now let's go over the 808. This is the 808 pattern I used. It's a basic 808 for these type of beats, or maybe even a rod wave type beat. I just added some extra notes towards the end of the 8 bars. For the clap, I have a simple clap pattern, as you can see over here. For the hi-hats, I have a simple 2-step hi-hat, and I added some rolls. For the open hat, I layered it with the 808 in the first and fifth bars. And then I added a laser, a clav, a tam, and a different kind of perk. And these are the patterns I used for them. And that's basically it for the beat. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. If you like this video, stay tuned for more, because we'll have videos dropping every single week. We'll be doing tutorials on pain beats, melodic beats. We'll be doing live beat cookups. We'll be doing live sample making using guitars. And we'll also be doing more beat breakdowns, so stay tuned. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe, and until next time, peace.